Hi there, I'm Brian and welcome to the brief tutorial for Legend Forge. This is not going to be a full playthrough. I just want to go over gameplay and cover the most important aspects of the game so you can see what's involved. Refer to the rulebook for details. However, I cover just about everything in this tutorial. In Legend Forge, you lead a party of 4 characters through a series of adventures, or missions. Along the way, the characters level up, and some may even get killed and be replaced. In the final round of the game, you use your experience to face one final showdown that determines your fate. The concept behind Legend Forge is, instead of facing specific monsters or bosses, you're faced with missions that require a certain level of competency in different classes. The characters in your party then use their competency to successfully complete the mission. The objective of the mission is on the card, as well as what you achieve with success. Anyway, let's begin. I'm using the Tabletop Simulator implementation of the game. This playthrough uses version 2.00 of Legend Forge. To create the party, I'm choosing a fighter, a rogue, a wizard, and a hunter. The druid and the bard will be left off to the side here in the out of play area. I've also placed each character on side A. The other side, side B, is a little harder to win with. Each character starts with 1 level, as indicated by the large icon at the middle of their cards. At the top of the screen, the adventure cards have been separated into their ranks, 1 to 4. As you can see, there are 9 cards in each rank. Each rank is then shuffled separately, then stacked from rank 4 to rank 1 from bottom to top. This is the adventure deck. The rank 5 cards are also out of play. Next, 3 stacks of 3 cards each are made by dealing cards one at a time from the adventure deck. This creates the adventure row. To start a round, choose one of the stacks. This adventure looks good. Let's see. Clear sewers of monstrous rats. Ooh, that could be fun. The top card is placed to the left. This is the current adventure. The 2 remaining cards are flipped over. These are the experience cards. The experience cards can be rotated to your liking. But why would you rotate them? Well, each adventure has a number of required class levels that must be satisfied in order to successfully complete it. The number of required class levels is the sum of the challenge icons on the current adventure and the experience icons at the top edge of the 2 experience cards. For this adventure, the required class levels are 1 rogue, 1 wizard, 1 druid, and 1 fighter. To successfully complete an adventure, each character spends its levels to satisfy the required class levels that match its class. The spending is only figurative. No cards are discarded. Levels can also be spent to use special abilities. We'll look at that in a moment. In this adventure, I already have 1 level of rogue, wizard, and fighter, so I can satisfy those 3 required class levels without using any special abilities. However, I need to use the hunter's special ability to satisfy the required druid level. Let's have a look at the hunter's special ability. It says it can spend its levels at a 1-to-1 ratio for either fighters or druids. When using these kinds of special abilities, the levels can be spent on one or both of the other classes. But in this case, we only need to spend the hunter's level on the required druid level. After using a special ability, rotate the character's card 90 degrees clockwise. After successfully completing the adventure, it's time to level up. When leveling up, one of the experience cards is placed below one of the characters. Do not rotate the card when doing this. At least one of the icons at the top of the experience card must match the class of that character. The character then adds the icons that match its class to its level. Any other icons are ignored. In this case, I've decided to level up the fighter. Since there is 1 fighter icon on the top edge, the fighter now has 2 levels. The other experience card is placed in the experience pool. The experience pool is used for some special abilities and recruiting. Lastly, the current adventure is placed next to the party to form the completed adventures stack. The successfully completed adventures will be used at the end of the game in the final round. In any case, let's see what success says. In your hunt, you discover and dispatch demon worshippers that were transforming ordinary rats into monstrosities. Well, that was a lucky discovery. Next is the reset phase. During this phase, the adventure row is refilled by building another stack of 3 cards from the adventure deck. Remember to place them one at a time. As you can see, these are all rank 2. Another part of the reset phase is resetting special abilities. Unlike most games, when resetting a character's special ability, it isn't returned to its original position. Instead, the card is rotated another 90 degrees clockwise. Doing this reveals a new special ability at the top of the character's card. As you can see, the hunter now has a different special ability available to it. Characters can only use the special ability that is at the top edge of their card. Now it's time to start a new round and pick a new adventure. Let's stick with rank 1 adventures. We're not experienced enough to handle rank 2 yet. We'll go with this one. Break up cult-led bandit camp. That sounds unusual. As before, the top card becomes the current adventure and the other 2 become experience cards. Then they're rotated to our liking. The required class levels are 1 rogue, 1 druid, 1 hunter, and 1 fighter level. This time, I already have 1 level of rogue, hunter, and fighter, so I can satisfy those 3 required class levels without a problem. There is still the required druid level, so I use the wizard's special ability to spend levels at a 1-to-1 ratio for either rogues or druids. The wizard's card is rotated 9 degrees clockwise, and that completes the adventure. Next, it's time to level up. I decide to take the experience card with the hunter icon at the top and level up the hunter. The hunter now has 2 levels. The remaining experience card is placed in the experience pool, and the adventure is placed with the other completed adventures. Let's read the success. You find that most of the bandits were forced into this life by the cult, so they gladly aid you. How fortunate for us. Those evil cultists sound rather nasty. Anyway, we're now back to the reset phase. The adventure row is refilled with 3 cards again, and the wizard is rotated another 90 degrees clockwise. Then we start another round. We take the final rank 1 adventure. Let's see what the mission is. Explore mysterious occurrences at a local cemetery. Ah yes, the cemetery. Gee, what will we find there? In any case, it's set up the same way as previous adventures. After a little thinking and rotating of the experience cards, I'm ready to go. The required class levels for this adventure are 1 fighter, 1 druid, 2 hunter, and 1 rogue. The required fighter, rogue, and hunter levels can be handled with what I've already got. There's just the required druid level left. It's time to use the wizard's special ability. Let's look at it. Spend up to 2 levels to convert that many levels of required class levels, the same or different classes, to any other class, the same or different classes. This means I can convert required class levels to other classes. So I'll spend the wizard's only level to convert the required druid level to a fighter level. Since I have 1 unspent fighter level, that takes care of that. You can see I rotated the wizard's card as well. Now for leveling up. I take the experience card with the 2 hunter icons and level up the hunter with it. The hunter now has 4 levels. The other cards are set in their appropriate places as before. Let's read what success brings us. Your encounters with undead at the cemetery garner you valuable knowledge for dealing with them. That could come in handy later. Next, in the reset phase, the empty space in the adventure row is filled with 3 new cards, and the wizard is rotated another 90 degrees. Let's see, which adventure should we choose next? Let's go with this one. Exterminate nest of giant spiders infesting mountain pass. It's set up as with previous adventures, but you can see that there are more levels that must be satisfied. After a little thought, I rotate the experience cards and settle on this. The required class levels for this mission are 3 fighter, 2 rogue, and 3 hunter levels. The fighter spends its 2 levels to satisfy 2 of the 3 fighter levels. The rogue spends its level to satisfy 1 of the 2 rogue levels. The hunter spends 3 of its levels to satisfy the 3 hunter levels. This leaves us with 1 required fighter level and 1 required rogue level left. The wizard could use its special ability to spend its level to satisfy the rogue level, but there is still a fighter level left. I have no way of satisfying that. If you ever find yourself in this kind of a bind, there's one final option for you. You can kill a character. Killing a character gives you 2 wild levels that can be spent on any required class levels. Killing a character works against you at the end of the game, but sometimes it's the only way to move on. I decide to kill the wizard. This satisfies the remaining rogue and fighter levels. The wizard is placed out of play with the other 2 character cards. If the wizard had any level up cards below it, they would have been put into the discard stack. The discard stack works against you at the end of the game. Please refer to the rulebook for complete details on killing a character. Since the adventure was successfully completed, it's time to level up. I decide to level up with the 2 fighter icons. The fighter now has 4 levels. The other experience card is moved to the experience pool and the adventure to the completed adventures. Let's see what success gives us. While stamping out the spiders, you discover and destroy a base belonging to demon worshippers. Interesting, but it was a costly discovery. Anyway, next. In the reset phase, the adventure row is refilled as per usual. During the reset phase, we can recruit a character to replace a killed character. Any class in the out-of-play area can be recruited, so I could even recruit another wizard if I wanted. Let's look through the experience pool to see what we've got to work with. Okay, I'll go with the druid. Let's grab the druid from the out-of-play area and place it in the party. Okay, there we go. To pay for this, 1 card from the experience pool with a druid icon must be placed in the discard stack. Like I said earlier, the discard stack works against you at the end of the game. Also, all cards in the discard stack cannot be used again during the game. Anyway, the new recruit can now be leveled up to the same number of levels as the rank of the last completed adventure. The last completed adventure was rank 2, so the druid can be leveled up to level 2. 1 more card from the experience pool with a druid icon on it is placed below the druid and rotated appropriately. Refer to the rules for full details on recruiting. I then clean up the experience pool and set it in its usual place. Ordinarily, we'd move on to the next round, but since this is just a tutorial and not a full playthrough, we'll move to the final round. I've demonstrated the most important aspects of the game so far. The rest is just a repetition of what I've shown you. Let's skip to the final round, the showdown round. For this round, we sort through the completed adventures, separating them by the campaign icon in the upper left. You can see I'm sorting them now. Why am I sorting them? I'm glad you asked. Each completed adventure in a campaign can be used as 1 wild class level that can satisfy any required class level. Therefore, the more you have, the better your chances are to succeed in the showdown. After completing the sorting, there is 1 campaign that I have 3 cards for. The icon of this sort of odd building here. I take the 3 cards from this campaign, also known as the matching campaign cards, and place them next to the party so I can use them if needed. I then move aside the other adventures. Then I look through the rank 5 adventures, otherwise known as the showdowns, and find the one with the matching campaign icon. Here it is. It's then placed in the current adventure position. Let's read what it says. Discover and restore fabled lost city. Ooh, this could be exciting. Let's look at the flavor text too. Provisioned for weeks of travel, you begin your odyssey through the unknown in search of the lost city. Okay, let's do this. I then take the other rank 5 adventures and shuffle them. I must place 2 of them next to the current adventure, flip them over, and rotate them so the experience icons are at the top. Now, remember how I said the discard stack works against you at the end of the game? Here's where that comes in. I next count the number of cards in the discard stack and remove that many cards from the matching campaign cards, putting them in the discard stack. Now I have just 2 left. Also, before we begin, let's look at how many levels each character has. Remember that only the icons on the level up cards that match the character's class are counted. Therefore, the fighter has 6 levels, the rogue has 7 levels, the druid has 6 levels, and the hunter has 6 levels. Now then, let's see what we're up against. It looks like the required class levels are 4 fighter, 4 rogue, 5 wizard, 5 druid, 6 hunter, and 1 bard level. Let's do the easy stuff first. The hunter spends all 6 of its levels to satisfy the 6 hunter levels. The druid spends 5 of its levels to satisfy the 5 druid levels. The rogue spends 4 of its levels to satisfy the 4 rogue levels. It then uses its special ability to spend its remaining 3 levels to satisfy 3 of the wizard levels. The fighter spends 4 of its levels to satisfy the 4 fighter levels. Let's use its special ability next. Spend 1 level to spend up to half the fighter's levels, rounded down, on 1 class of required class levels. So, it spends 1 level to trigger this ability, and its last remaining level to pay for the bard level. There are just 2 required wizard levels left. Fortunately, we have 2 matching campaign cards which work as wild levels, so we can spend them to satisfy those 2. They're moved to the discard stack. That's it. We've successfully completed the showdown. Let's flip over the showdown and read the results. The back of the showdown has 3 results. The red one is the fail. Read that one if you fail. If you succeed, your level of success is determined by the number of remaining matching campaign cards you have. In this case, we have 0 left. Therefore, we read the 0 to 1 results. Let's read. After finding the city, you chant the incantations you hope will revive it. Instead, it suddenly crumbles around you and sinks into the earth. You barely escaped with your lives and a few treasures you looted. Well, that wasn't terribly satisfying, but I guess it's better than total failure. As you can see on the card, even greater success can be achieved. Let's try for that result the next time we play. In any case, it's now your turn to take on the challenge of Legend Forge. Having watched this tutorial, I hope you find it easy to do. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy playing Legend Forge as much as I've enjoyed designing it. Farewell.